that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The official observance of this year's Majority Rule holiday may be over, but tonight one man is reflecting on the struggles of this historical event and is urging all Bahamians to never forget where they have come from. Louis Thurston says many Bahamians are still not aware of what life was like before Majority Rule and the efforts that had to be made to bring about the historical change.
It's sad to say that much of our history is interred in our various cemeteries. And that's unfortunate. But it's good to know that some of us who are alive are given the opportunity to say something from time to time. You know, Majority Rule did not begin in 1967. I'd like to say that at the outset. One time ago, there was something you call the property vote. And most of our oppressors had more property all over the place than the rest of people who could have voted.
He says there were many things that led to Majority Rule.
Also the women vote. You know, I'll never forget that in 1962 after the election, there was a picture of Sir Stafford on the front page of The Guardian. It said the women swung it in their favor. But all I'm saying here is that it was a struggle, a very hard struggle. You know, and I'm happy to say that Majority Rule is a Bahamian thing, because many of our parents would have suffered in the absence of it. But when it came into being, at least we were granted opportunities.
Thurston says Bahamians should not take these benefits and opportunities for granted.
Many who benefit now, you know, would not have benefited if it hadn't been for Majority Rule. And we want to applaud those who would have passed on and who were the architects of this Majority Rule situation.
He believes we must know who we are as Bahamians and what we have been through in order to get a deeper appreciation of where we are headed. Well, as more and more young men are being hauled before the courts for acts of violence and even murder, a local educator and BUT executive says the country must reassess the direction of our young men and steps must be taken to bring about positive change. Our Megan Shepard has this report.
Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Quinton LaRota, recalls the recent case in New Providence where 3 young men were charged for the murder of a student after school hours. He says this recent spike in violence must not become a trend.
We really have to get our country away from that kind of behavior. We're losing too many young people to gunshot wounds and stabbings in the streets. It's now starting to infiltrate our schools, and that should be a no-no. I'm a parent, and when I send my kids to school, I don't ever think of them being in any harm's way or danger while at the school or near the school surroundings. A school is supposed to be a safe place.
LaRota is sending a strong message to young people to reconsider the direction in which they are heading.
And to the young people, we have enough bad people. I mean, Foxville don't need a next president there, so why do you want to be that? I mean, what's the point? What's the point in wasting somebody else's life and throwing your life away over some nonsense? I mean, it's time for violence to be out of style. I mean, let's get seriously thinking about working to build a better country.
LaRota is calling on all various organizations and the community at large to get back to basics and to do their part in helping to set this generation straight.
And we must partner with education, with the churches, civic groups, counselors, to make sure that we create the kind of young persons that would make our country grow.
Corporal punishment is still allowed within the schools, but can only be administered by administration. While internationally this is becoming frowned upon, LaRota says something must be done.
Global movement, actually, I think UNICEF is spearheading a lot of it to eradicate corporal punishment totally. Those larger countries put a lot of pressure on smaller ones like ours to adapt to the morals and mores of their country. And so what we have to do is always be mindful of what takes place in the Bahamian vernacular, what is best for our children, and how best we proceed. It isn't something that I think should be used all the time because it becomes less effective. But it is a tool that you can use to set the example for kids that bad behavior has a consequence.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Christmas holidays may be over, but the spirit of giving continues on Grand Bahama. This morning, Bahamas Striping made a donation of toys, hams, and turkeys to the children of the Grand Bahama Children's Home. President of the company, Ontario Mitchell, says the company wanted to start the year off right by reaching out to the Grand Bahama Children's Home and offering these wonderful gifts.
When you look at the work that I think the Grand Bahama Children's Home is doing in the lives of these young kids, I think that they deserve all the help that they can possibly get. And this is just my company way of being a helping hand to them. And I actually took a walk through, and I was pretty touched by the young kids that they have here. And I just, for me personally, wanted to be a part of bringing a better Christmas to them.
Board member at the Children's Home, Leslie Davis Baptista, says this initiative is a fine example of corporate Bahamas making a difference.
Today is fantastic. It takes Christmas and it spreads it out a little bit longer, not only with the toys, but also the ham and turkeys will be put to good use. We experience a tremendous shortfall at the Children's Home in funding throughout the year, and we rely solely on the donations of the Grand Bahama community and the corporate community and individuals that can come together like this in such a big way to help us cover the basics, help us show some fun and love. I mean, look at the toys back here. A lot of fun will be shared with that.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Welcome. Christine from Freeport asked, how do I prevent getting gallstones? Hi, Christine, and thanks for your question. Gallstones are formed in the gallbladder, which is a small sac-like organ under the liver and located in the right upper portion of your abdomen. If someone has gallstones, they may experience abdominal pain, especially after a heavy meal, nausea, vomiting, fever, and even jaundice, which is the yellowing of the skin or the whites of your eyes. There's no sure way to prevent gallstones. However, eating a sensible diet is the best way to lower your risk. Avoid eating too much fat, since the majority of gallstones are made of cholesterol. A high-fiber, low-cholesterol diet is the way to go, as it keeps the cholesterol in a liquid form in the gallbladder and reduces the risk of forming stones. Some studies have shown that the chemicals in olive oil not only reduces cholesterol levels in your blood, but also reduces cholesterol in the gallbladder. So eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, low in cholesterol, and avoiding crash diets may help lower your risk for getting gallstones. If you have questions or concerned about your health, please email askdrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightbourne has a check on sports when we return.